Okay, let's get it. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. You need a roof, give us a shout at Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. And Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars, use the code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. Okay, everybody, good morning. Hope your day is off to a great start. I noticed right out the chute, the first comment was from Thomas. So never forget 9/11 and RIP Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I don't want to start anywhere other than that, of course. Today is September 11th. It is the 24th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. A day that changed our country forever, changed our world forever. Um, it's hard to remember what life was like pre 9/11, because we lived in this reality, and for many people, it's the only reality that they've ever known. Um, but we certainly stop and pause and remember those innocent victims that lost their lives, the families that have been uh, affected forever, and all the brave men and women who have fought for our freedoms since that day, before as well, but since that day, um, who continue to fight to make us the freest country and greatest country in the world. So we will always remember. I'll never forget 9/11. I mean, I know most of us never will, but I was in college. My parents were in New York City. I've told the story before. Um, it's pretty wild. They were supposed to be going to the World Trade Center that day on that Tuesday, um, after my dad had business meetings in New York. So, um, a day I'll never forget as long as I live. Obviously, same for many, if not all of you. So, okay. Um, it's always awkward when you have to transition from something very serious to something relatively innocuous, like sports. I said relatively compared to something like that. And then, yes, as Thomas mentioned, the Charlie Kirk news is jarring. Uh, it's devastating. I mean, 31-year-old man. We don't get do overs in life, man. Uh, God bless his family. Oh, man. Uh, but I know that's not why I'll come here. We come here to talk about sports and to have a light start to the morning. So I understand that. I'll keep the main thing here. Of course, understanding, as I said on AFR yesterday, there are many great places where if you want that content, you can get that content. Okay. Again, I'm just going to clumsily transition because there isn't really a good or easy way to do that. So LSU's getting ready for Florida. Brian Kelly on the SEC coaches teleconference on Wednesday said Braelin Moore is probable. Now, I am really interested in this one. So I don't know. So I think it's one of two things. This was the whole beginning of uh, this was the whole beginning of today's Locked On episode for those who want to hear it or see it. But anyway, this was what Brian Kelly said on the teleconference. Here you go.
I think we have him listed as probable. He did practice yesterday, and we expect him to practice today.
Okay, so Braelin Moore practiced on. So remember that was Wednesday when Brian Kelly said that. So that means Braelin Moore practiced on Tuesday. He said we expect him to practice today, which was Wednesday. I can confirm. I checked last night. Braelin Moore did practice yesterday. Now, while he practiced, I think there was also, I get the sense, talking to a few folks, that there's also some hesitation as to whether or not Moore is actually going to play this weekend. The initial report that we got on Saturday night and then had uh, um, affirmed on Sunday was that Braelin Moore and Trey were likely to both miss this week. Trey I think, is certainly going to miss a couple of games. with a target is Ole Miss. I'm curious what they'll do with Braelin Moore. Do you shoot him up, tape him up high and tight, and let him run out there and see if he can give you what he can give you? I wouldn't do that because I'd be afraid of the setback that then prolongs this injury. You can give Braelin Moore off this week. You don't need him against Southeastern next week, which means you can give him 2 Saturdays off, 2 games off, and basically get 3 weeks of treatment before you go to Ole Miss and have him ready back for that game. That would be my preferred approach. I'm not the coach. I'm not there at practice every day. I'm just operating with the knowledge that we all have of having watched sports for a long time and watched guys with ankle injuries and how much those things linger. So the only thing that heals them is time, and would prefer certainly to give Braelin Moore as much time as possible to get back to as close to health. All right. We'll say some good mornings here. Excuse me. Saints, still no Trevor Penning or Chase Young on the first injury report. They were both absent from practice. And Taliesin Fuaga was there, but did not practice. So, not great. As the Saints get ready to welcome in San Francisco. All right, let's say some good mornings here. Hey, Bubba, good morning. Ethan, good morning. Hey, Dale, good morning. Nate Rose totaled 4 wins on the road since he was hired at Florida. None of those 4 teams he beat finished the season with a winning record. We roll Saturday. Love that statistic, Dale. Thank you for sharing that. It's a great number. I tend to agree with you. I think Florida will play a motivated game, an inspired game. I certainly expect that kind of effort after being embarrassed this past week. I also think LSU is a dramatically better team than Florida. I think they're better coached. I think they have the better quarterback, and they're at home. So I do like LSU in this game. I know that total is coming down, and I'm not surprised by that. I think LSU is going to play a lot of games that fall to the under not because of LSU's offense, but because of LSU's defense. I think it's going to be very hard for teams to score on LSU, and I don't think Vegas is properly adjusted for that just yet. Hey, Seth, good morning. Jacob, good morning. Turn that jingle up loud today. Bob, good morning. Going to church this morning, not because I have to, because I want to. God bless you, man. Say prayers for all of us today. Hey, Juan, morning. Finally recovered from the Oasis concert. Went to Tiger Stadium. From Tiger Stadium to the Rose Bowl in 24 hours. Going to miss the huge Florida game. I have to go to Vegas for work Saturday. Well, Juan, I know the Florida game is your preferred matchup, your chief rivalry. So you missing the Florida game is that's something, man. Especially having moved back to BR. But I'm sure you'll be watching. Safe travels to Vegas, man. Hey, Tiger Poppy, good morning. Kelly Gross, good morning. Sway, you have 10 different YouTube channels I got to keep up with. Not 10. So, of course, AFR is live on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Then we have my AFR Saints and AFR LSU channels. I have Locked on LSU. And then I have this one, which is my own personal channel where I do things like Morning Scone. I'll do my post game here Saturday after LSU in Florida. And other videos that I want to do. Hey, Austin, good morning. I know we don't talk politics here. What happened yesterday was an attack on America's most sacred value, free speech. We appreciate you for giving us this platform. Of course, man. All that man did was have civil discourse with people that disagreed with him. And somebody shot him. It's just jarring. I mean, I know I'm not saying that I'm the same in any way. But Gordy asked me if I wanted to go to do my show in Tuscaloosa this year before the game. He's like, man, we could set you up at a first, like, let everybody know where you're going to be. And I'm like, no, that's a terrible idea. Because Most people are sensible people. Most, even when they're crazy sports fans and all. But it takes the one lunatic, like what happened yesterday. Hmm. Brody, morning, Matt. Sad week for our country. May Jesus lay his hands on us. Amen. Hunter, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Brad, good morning. Handing out, I always say Florida is one of the top jobs in the country. Do you still think it's a top job since they've been running through coaches since Urban Meyer? I don't agree. The thing is, Florida had a great run of success under Steve Spurrier and obviously under Urban Meyer. I think there are a lot of disadvantages at Florida. The fact that, well, yes, you are in a talent rich state, which is a huge benefit, but you also have Florida State, Miami, Central Florida, South Florida, and every other school trying to pluck talent out of your state. So it's hard to establish yourself as the preeminent brand in your state. That's number one. Number two, Florida doesn't get tremendous fan support. I know it sounds weird, but like one of the reasons that Florida was very much in favor of the permanent opponent with LSU wasn't because of a competitive nature. It's because they sold out the game every year when LSU went there. Florida doesn't sell out Ben Hill Griffin Stadium on the reg. So there are advantages, but and so if you say one of the best jobs in the country, well, sure. I mean, in the sense that is it a top 20 job in the country? Yeah, conference, history, resources, talent, yeah, of course, if that's what we're talking about. But are we talking about a top 5 job in the country? I do not believe that. I think LSU's in that conversation. And not because, and I think LSU has disadvantages, like we've talked about the lack of a deep roster of boosters, but I've always said the biggest advantage LSU has is the dirt, is that you're in a talent-rich state and you're the only Power 4 in a talent-rich state. And so you're going to be able to go on your campus and recruit the number 1 athlete in the country in Lamar Brown. You can go an hour south and recruit the number 1 defensive tackle in the country in Richard Anderson. You can go 15 minutes to East Ascension and recruit a top 100 offensive tackle in Bryson Martinez. You can go 5 minutes from your campus and recruit a 5-star safety in Blaine Bradford. You can go 10 minutes from your campus and recruit the number 1 quarterback in 2027 in Elijah Haven. You see what I mean? Like, that's the advantage that LSU has, which makes LSU in that conversation among the top jobs in the country. Hey, Dad, good morning. Sway, I was watching some other teams' offensive film. Our O-line is so far off the gap of what a good team should be, specifically the run game. Brad Davis needs better, more scrutiny. Got it. Jeffrey, have a great day. Thank you, man. Ian, good morning. Some of the bigger than sports and politics, thoughts and prayers to Charlie Kirk's family. Have a great day. Have a great day to you as well. Jeremy, good morning. Austin, excited about the 2-0 start. A little nervous because I think Clemson was overhyped. Would love to see a dominant win Saturday. So I don't think Clemson was overhyped. I think that was an amazing college football game between two veteran, talented football teams, and LSU won. And then I think just like LSU slogged its way against Louisiana Tech, Clemson slogged its way against Troy. They were trailing at half. When they got it together, they blew them out in the second half. Happens. This week will be interesting because Clemson has a very big challenge this week with Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is a physical football team that is not going to be intimidated. Clemson's a 9.5-point favorite, I think, against Georgia Tech on the road in Atlanta. This week will be very telling about Clemson. You just got your wake-up call against Troy. Now you have to go on the road against a very physical team. If you go lay down in this game against Georgia Tech, Clemson will get beat. If they don't show up in a big way. Now, Clemson's a better team. They're a more talented team, all that sort of stuff. But they got to show up. And so this will be very telling this week for Clemson. I think Clemson does show up in this game and plays really well and wins it. But Georgia Tech ain't going back down on that team.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish Built. Parish Built. Parish Built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right. Remember, as always, Parish Construction and Roofing, roof repairs, roof replacements, gutters. You can soft wash your roof, your entire home, beautify your roof, your exterior. ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. Of course, Brock. Remember, tomorrow, free Friday night clinic every Friday during the high school football season. BROrtho.com, BROrtho.com. All right, y'all. Please smash that like button if you would subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. We always appreciate you for hanging with us here. Let me get back to where I was. Here we go. Here I am. Jeffrey, how long his trade is out? It's indefinite at this point. I would certainly not expect him this week. And that being the case, I don't think we'd see him next week either against Southeastern. I think the target would be Ole Miss to get him back. Hey, Fred. Moore was trying to go back in against Tech, get him ready. Hopefully, with a week of prep at center, Chester can meet the challenge, but have more ready if you need him. Yeah, I don't think that they would do that, Fred. I understand your point. I don't think that they would start Chester and things weren't going well, then they'd put in more. I don't think that's the way they would go. I think they would make a decision either if they're going to dress Braelin more, then he's going to play. Like if he's going to play, he's going to play. And this I completely disagree with. Chester had a whole season at center. He's just not good. I completely disagree with that. I think DJ Chester is a very good offensive lineman. He is a giant man. He's a physical player. I do not believe he's a great center. He's out of position at center. You don't typically look at Braelin Moore and DJ Chester. Braelin Moore is 6'2", 300 pounds. 6'2", 300 pounds. DJ Chester is 6'6", 315. He's 6'6" playing center. Like, he's not a center. Look at the great centers of all time. Even LSU guys, Kevin Mawai, Todd McClure. These dudes are 6'1", 6'2". Like, that's a prototypical center. Braelin Moore is a prototypical center. Low to the ground, anchor the line in the middle, low man wins, get your hands up quickly, protect the middle for penetration. Like, DJ Chester is a giant human. Like, and when you look at last year to this year, he did improve. Look at his PFF grade from he was really good in pass protection on Saturday against Tech. I'm not saying that he's going to the Hall of Fame, but he's improved from what he was a year ago. And a guy that's basically started 14 games is a heck of a luxury. I'm not saying I want to see that. I'd much rather Braelin Moore be healthy. I think Braelin Moore's your best offensive lineman. But what you cannot lose sight of with Chester or anybody, something that I say often is guys are allowed to improve. Like, DJ Chester was starting for the first time ever last year, and he was starting in a new position he had never played. Stunning that DJ Chester, having never played center and not a prototypical center build, struggled to play center in the SEC. KDP 31-17 coming down. I would love to see it. Hey, Seth, Fournette was hampered by high ankle sprain in 2016. Yes, he was. It happened in camp. They got him ready to go. That's a great comp. It happened in camp. They got him ready to go against Wisconsin. He re-aggravated against Wisconsin, and then he was on again, off again that whole season in 2016. He ended up playing in 2016. He ended up only playing 7 games. Now, but I will say this, and this is an important distinction, Seth. And I said this on Saturday night when Moore got hurt. Maybe it was Sunday morning, either way. Remember, with the ankle injury, it affects guys like positions like running back, cornerback, receiver, much more than offensive line because they're in a full sprint, stop, start, cut. Offensive linemen, man, they can take that thing high and tight, put you in a phone booth, and just lean on people, right? You're not doing explosive, sudden movements with stopping and starting. So it is the ankle, like running backs, receivers, DBs, backpedaling, turning, spinning, sprinting, changing direction. Like ankle injuries affect those positions much more than the offensive line. Hey, Gunner, ready for Locked on LSU? Yeah, man. So remember, the podcast drops before the YouTube video. So the pod, this is all based on Locked On's research. Okay, so I drop it at the times that they say are the best times to do it. So the podcast drops at 4 a.m. and the YouTube video is at 7 a.m. Central. But thank you very much for the support. Hey, Chris. Morning, Matt. How are you and Drew this morning? We're good. Thanks. Drew's just stirring. One game this weekend you're looking forward to, most people aren't. Clemson, Georgia Tech. Clemson, Georgia Tech. I'll give you like 3. South Carolina, Vanderbilt, I think is going to be massively important because Carolina fancies themselves as a playoff team. You got to win on your home field against Vanderbilt. Well, I saw Vanderbilt go on the road to Virginia Tech and were losing at half and blew the doors off of them in the second half. And I think Vanderbilt's defense is good enough to limit a South Carolina offense that has not been impressive through 2 weeks. Like Lenora Sellers and that South Carolina offense has not been good through 2 weeks. So that's one that I think is very important. The other is Ole Miss, Arkansas. Arkansas has not played a team with a pulse yet, but statistically they have been amazing. Arkansas beat Alabama A&M 52-7 and Arkansas State 56-14. So again, nobody's going to confuse either of those teams with anything resembling a competent offense. But Taylon Green is back at quarterback. That's a 6'6" dude who can spin it and run and can create problems. And they're going to Oxford this week to play Ole Miss. And Austin Simmons, I don't know if he's healthy. And even when he was healthy the first 2 weeks, he didn't look good. So Ole Miss is a 7.5-point favorite in this game. I'm just here to tell you, Coach, like if Arkansas's offense actually has progressed and Ole Miss with only 2 starters returning from a year ago combined who didn't look good this past week on the road at Kentucky and has an injured quarterback, like Ole Miss could be on upset alert at home against Arkansas. Like there's some intrigue in the league. I mean, like the big games, Tennessee, Georgia, A&M against Notre Dame, LSU, Florida, those all go without saying. But, man, there's a lot of good games in the league this weekend. KDP, good morning. Kerry Hughes, if I recall rightly, you think the Tigers will win convincingly Saturday? I haven't made a pick yet, Kerry. I'm leaning that way. But you know what's giving me pause is Mike Detilier's old angle about a team that loses its starting center fails to cover 80% of the time. The week that they lose their starting center. But I'm wondering if that was last week. Because, I mean, you basically didn't have him for the whole game. So, with a week to prepare DJ Chester as your starter, I wonder if that's different. Hey, Tiger Diver, good morning. Maurice Nato, morning. Hope we beat Florida. So bad they fire Sunbelt Billy immediately after the game. I don't know if they'd fire him after Saturday, but when you look at what's coming ahead, man, LSU, Miami, Texas A&M, even their game against Mississippi State now looks more challenging. And you still got Georgia and Tennessee and Florida State. Like, I just don't see him. There's just no way he's surviving this. O-line looked out of shape. Okay. Hopefully LSU worked on blocking assignments and cutting down wide receiver rotations, especially since they haven't figured out how to use their personnel. Okay. Fred, okay. Yeah. Kobe, I disagree with him on a lot of things. I never desired for him to be, we're talking about Charlie Kirk, yeah. And that's Kobe, like, the beautiful thing about free speech is that people can disagree with each other, but at the end of the day, we all want the same thing in life. Like, we all want a safe place to raise our family. We want good schools, and we want the freedoms we enjoy and the opportunity to make money and live free and we want good schools and healthy drinking water. Like we all want the same things in life. We may disagree on the methodologies or paths to get there. It's one of the reasons I hate politics, because it becomes so contentious and all it does is create division among people instead of focusing on the things that we agree on and how to find solutions to make those things a reality. But instead, power hungry people create division, and you got crazy people like what happened yesterday, which is insane. I mean, all that man did was peacefully engage in discourse with people who disagreed with him. Like, he welcomed civil conversation with people that disagreed with him, and somebody shot and killed him. It's unimaginable. Hey, Rocky, good morning. We talk sports every day here. On this day especially, I ask my fellow Sconers to pray for our country. Love you guys. Love you too, Rocky. And I think we should pray for each other and for our country every day. It shouldn't just be on the anniversary of 9/11 or when there's a tragedy like what happened yesterday. We should all pray for each other every day. And I'm going to remind myself that every morning when I start going through my morning prayers and affirmations that I pray for all the morning Sconers every day. Jeff, what up, my dude? Hope you're doing great, man. My money's on Georgia Tech this week. It's not a bad play, Thomas. It's not a bad play. I'm telling you, man. Georgia Tech is a live dog against Clemson. If Clemson don't show up, they'll get nipped. Chandler, good morning. Fired up for a packed DV. Death Valley fans wear gold. Team, please, dear baby Jesus, wear gold, white, gold. I'm with you on that one, man. I hope they do. First SEC game at home. Come on, guys. Don't bust out no alternates against Florida. Come on. Hey, Brian, how difficult will it be for LSU to block Florida's defensive line? Do you like our defense versus Lagway? So I like LSU's defense against everybody. Literally. I like LSU's defense against everybody. They have elite ends. They have elite defensive tackle play. They have elite linebacker play. They have elite cornerback play. They have elite safety play. I like LSU's defense against everybody. And as far as blocking Florida's defensive line, so that was the thing that wrecked the game for LSU a year ago. LSU dominated the yardstick, but they allowed 7 sacks and 11 TFLs. That's what time and again put LSU behind the sticks, killed drives, all that sort of stuff. This Florida defense is not the one from a year ago. Jack Pyburn now plays at LSU. Shamar James plays for the Dallas Cowboys. LJ McCray has a broken foot. Caleb Banks hasn't played the first 2 weeks with a leg injury. He might play this week against LSU. They haven't announced that yet, but he may be out as well. They're just they are not they are not the same team defensively that they were a year ago. A couple more minutes here. Tom, the crew of Dale. Stop eating crayons. Rick Kelly, Matt, did the SEC suspend the Texas player for punching the wide receiver? I did not. I do not know. I did not see. And I did not watch a minute of Texas against San Jose State, by the way. I just saw the highlights of Arch throwing touchdowns. Donovan, good morning, Matt. Go Tigers. What do you think the score will be this weekend? Haven't made a pick yet, Donovan. By the way, I am recording my Locked On crossover episode with Brandon Olson from Locked On Gators. We're recording it this morning to publish tomorrow morning. So I guess I kind of have to decide on a pick, but I haven't gotten to a score yet, what I think. Hey, Hunter, curious your thoughts on ESPN's Power Index, why LSU's all the way down at 15. Yeah, so that's the SP Plus, and Bill Connolly puts that together. My opinion on SP Plus and things like that, I think that, again, that's just something to consider, whatever their algorithm says, probably because LSU didn't play well this past weekend. And it also takes into consideration things like returning production. Well, LSU went so heavy in the portal, they didn't have as much returning production this year. So that's one of the things that dings LSU in that algorithm. But my point always is that's why I think that and blue chip ratio and things haven't quite figured out the portal, because the example that I always give is like Bernard Gooden and AJ Halsey. Those are two guys that were in their high school class, were 3 stars that were ranked in the thousands nationally. Well, as incoming freshmen, that was their rank. As 4th and 5th year defensive players who have been, Halsey was all conference, Gooden was all, like, they're dramatically different players today than they were when they were 18 coming out of high school. And those are guys that are huge I mean, Bernard's good and played more snaps at defensive tackle than anybody else. And AJ Halsey's your starting safety. I mean, like SP Plus doesn't know that. That's they just see that LSU lost production. That's the problem I have. Cartel Bo, good morning, man. Shalom. Hope all is well. Thank you. JMJ, long overdue celebration. Charles Alexander. Yeah, man, I'm excited. So actually Friday, they're doing at Tiger Stadium a celebration for Charles, like private family, friends, teammates. And Charles asked me to come do the Q&A with him, like the program, and sort of MC the program with him for him. So, I got to know Charles when he was elected to the College Football Hall of Fame back in 2012. And he was he was promoting his Cajun seasoning, Come On Man Cajun seasoning. And so I helped him with a lot of that. I helped him start all the social accounts, helped him get into some stores locally, helped him, promote the seasoning. And we did a series called Hall of Fame Moments that we ran throughout the college football season, where I interviewed him. We cut him into these packages where he was talking about some of his great moments during his college career. So anyway, I got to know Charles more than a decade ago, and we stayed in touch and stayed friends. And he's an amazing man, a guy that was a true superstar before his time. If Charles Alexander had existed in the world of NIL, he would have been one of the highest paid players in the country. I mean, he was a Heisman finalist. He was a first round draft pick of the Bengals, played in the Super Bowl for Cincinnati. When he left LSU, he was the SEC's all-time leading rusher. So a truly incredible player before my time. I mean, he finished, in 77 at LSU. But it's been a pleasure for me to get to know the man and then to learn about his career. And I'm very, very happy for him. I'm ecstatic for him. So, and I'm very excited for what will be next, which hopefully will be Kevin Falk's number 3. Just saying. And Glenn Dorsey, 72. Like I said, there's a 5-year wait period from the time your career finishes before they could retire your jersey per the Hall of Fame rules. So for Glenn Dorsey, he was eligible for that in 2012, and I think they should have done it then. I think they should have already done it for Burrow and Daniels. I think they should have waived the 5-year wait period for the Heisman winners, but nobody asked my opinion. All right, I got to go. Thanks for watching. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. All of our sponsors will link in the description on YouTube. We'll get them tagged on Facebook. Locked on LSU is live. We'll see you for AFR 3. Y'all have a great day. Peace be with you.